everybody, this is Frankie Abbruzzino with EDG Realty. I'm going to put out a report for two things. One for my real estate business, actually another one for my news business because it impacts us locally in the news, and then one for, if you don't know, I'm running for mayor of the city of Venice. And one of the issues I've been harping on is the millage rate. We have a millage rate that is 0.9 to 1% higher than Sarasota County, city of Sarasota, and the city of Northport. And the question is why? A lot of those cities offer more services, and why is it that we need a percentage more? And why is it that the millage rate has not been decreased when the home values have increased significantly, as we have seen if you've received your trim notice recently? We're seeing increases in our property values. And it's going to go up again probably with 2022, because right now the trim we're getting is for 2021. So my big issue is, why aren't we lowering it? And there's reports like this one that I have in front of me that I read, and I'll be referring to it as I do this report. It basically comes out and says, look, you could basically lower the millage rate and come out with the same amount of taxes that you're pulling in from the properties as a city. And the other one questions is, well, what are they doing with all this extra money? One of my biggest fears is that I got into it because I didn't want my opponent to run unopposed, but I also got into it because I had a lot of concerns. My opponent and I differ on development. I'm for controlled growth. His voting record indicates something else. I'm for accountability. And one thing, the previous admin 3 years ago, Hollick, Daniels, and those guys, they held the bureaucrats within the city accountable. They were going through everything and trying to get away with stuff, in my mind, that they wouldn't get away with if we had a commission that was holding them accountable, and versus just reading what's on the agenda and dealing with that. So here we go. I digress. Okay, so we look at it. We look at the extraordinary year. Property taxes are up. Home values are up. Taxes are up because those millage rates aren't going down. They use this example of Palm Beach property appraiser who said that there's going to be a 15% increase in taxable values in the county, which is a sizable windfall for the county. And who determines how much money they'll need or want in the budget and where the millage rate will be? If you're seeing a sizable return because these increased home values, what's happening with that budget? Are they allocating more money to things that we really don't need? I haven't seen the salary thing. I put in a Freedom FOIA request with the city because the salary things is something that drives me crazy. I believe with health and everything, the city manager is being paid over $300,000, way above the national average. The city clerk they just hired, I think it was way over $130,000. Come on. And this is me going off memory on the last article I wrote on it. They had a bicycle specialist working part-time, making, I think it was somewhere around $24,000. So when they bring in this money and they're charging 1% more than everybody else around, you're seeing increased home values. Guess what? They get frivolous. They spend money on stuff that is not necessary, and that's your and my money. See, it has a little bit of my news business, my real estate business, and me run for this mayor. So there's a combination of everything. But let's focus mainly on the real estate, the EDG out here. Because what we're seeing in the trim notices, because trim notices went out, people got them based upon 2021 values. I got mine, the one before this, my mortgage went up because the property values went up, so my taxes went up, and we're all being hit with this insurance crisis that's driving a lot of us bats. Everybody and their brother wants to move here, the free state of Florida, and we're seeing house values just increase. Mine 3-4 years ago when I bought it was $250K. Now probably $500,000 or more you can get for it. So you're seeing an increase in the property values. You're seeing that this city, state, counties are bringing in more taxes. You're seeing that they're not adjusting the millage rate, and you're seeing cities like the city of Venice have 1% more. The question is why? Some people say, oh, you got the new fire trucks, ambulances. No, come on, folks. And they do have budget meetings. One was last Monday. I think there's another one this Monday. So we're getting them. It's property tax season. We're all sitting here saying, oh, God, this truth of millage is coming out. The millage rate, if you don't know, is per $1,000 of property value that the politicians go in and they say this is going to be the tax on your property. There are exemptions like homestead where you get $25,000. If you're a disabled veteran, there's a discount. There's various discounts that apply, that you can be applied against it so that you get a lower rate. The tax bill you receive now, though, remember, is for 2021. So if you see property values jump, which we still have in 2022, surprisingly, you're going to see another increase on next year's tax bill. And you can expect to pay a lot more with the multi-year homestead exemptions if you bought a different home or built a new home anytime after January 1st of 2021. Keep in mind that homestead will restrict jumps in property tax to no more than 3% per year. Other property owners without homestead exemptions are capped at 10% increase per year. So you could, if you look at this from a hypothetical standpoint, if you bought a home and the property for $300,000 in 2011, you still own it, you receive a homestead exemption, you're paying $750 in a property tax. In 2012, your taxes could increase at no more than 3% per year. And the most you'll pay this year, in this example, this hypothetical, even if your home increased value to $300,000 to $1 million or more, it would just be over $1,000 with that 3% increase on there. So that homestead does help out a lot. If you look at the various values, the market value of your home, the vacant lot or property, what you might actually sell it for is never a direct part of the property taxing process. But the market value, the so-called market value, is determined in part by the sales price of the similar or nearby properties. Also is determined what the just value, assessed value, or taxable value properties appraisers will put on your property. And so you have different variations of that. And so the question is, what are they doing with the money? This guy in this one article here that I'm looking at said, in the eyes of the county commissioners determining county budgets, the big 2021 boost is not likely to mean spending like there's no tomorrow, especially since taxpayers tend to pay attention and take it personally if they feel they've been stung by unnecessary spending. Are you taxpayers out there paying attention? And I can tell you, they say taxpayers pay attention. A very small amount pay attention. Very small. And that's why a lot of these guys, these politicians, can go out and continue to bilk us with high millage rates without discounting it, or 1% higher than the surrounding areas. And nobody asks questions. Nobody drills these guys. Or they'll come back and try to make you look like you're the bad guy, kind of like they're doing with this in Venice with this LDR group, land development regulations. And they're fighting that. They feel it's too biased towards the developer. They want more controlled growth. And the story goes on. But basically, what some counties and cities will say is, oh, we're just trying to catch up. We've been hit hard. We need to spend on infrastructure. We got human capital. That may be the case. That may not be the case. I know there's always bickering when it comes to infrastructure. There's been bickering with the Laurel Road here, with Pine Brook. And you do need infrastructure buildup. Infrastructure is huge. We got a hospital that just closed. That's part of infrastructure. Sewer, water quality. We got outflows that are letting pollutants out into our Gulf. And there's actually Wi-Fi on there. I don't think those were ever connected up. There's actually a process that they put in play that reroutes it in a manner so that the pollutants aren't as bad. That was quite effective. But I believe they only did it on one outflow. There's money and grants to do it on others, but no action's been taken. Again, this comes down to, what are they doing with our property tax money? And what are they doing for accountability? How come nobody at the councils or the mayor is making the bureaucrats accountable to ensure that this stuff is done and followed through? So you see how it's a mixture of everything here. And you can, even on the real estate, if you're one of my real estate people out there, my clients or anything, you got to look at this from every perspective. When you're buying a home, you want to make sure you got a city, that government that's functioning for you, or county if you're outside the incorporated limits. And just continue to hold them accountable. I run a news site, and I can tell you it doesn't happen. And I can tell you that the city and county will come down and try to make you look foolish. I've had the local city here say that, oh, that site's fake news, and I've never put out nobody's ever proven any of the stories that I've come out with and broken as being false or incorrect. They've named it that, and then 2-3 months later it comes out that I was completely accurate and not incorrect at all. So let's see, basically it just goes on to talk about what we're going to start seeing here soon with the market. So what I can tell you is Look for them. I got my trim the other day. Look at it, see. Maybe email your city and county commissioners and ask them, what are we paying for our millage rate? They'll tell you they have to do a FOIA request. And then ask your surrounding cities. Here in Venice, ask the city of Venice. If you're in the incorporated, if you're in the county, ask them. I put it out on my website. If you go to my election one, Frankie for Mayor, City of Venice or something like that, Mayor of Venice, Frankie for Mayor of Venice.com. And I put the millage rate out there where it clearly tells which each city, which each entity has. And then you can ask your politicians, in Venice, why are you 1% higher? What are you doing? Why do you need that much more money? How come you haven't decreased it with the increase in the home values? And all that good stuff. So this is an interesting article. What I'm going to do is, because I gathered a lot from it, it comes from FloridaRealtors.org. It's a newsletter they put out every day, and it has various stories that impact the Florida realtors market. And I get it, I guess because I'm a realtor, I don't know, I started getting it. So you can read through it. It's very interesting, and hopefully it will enlighten you on what's going on and why you need to be more attentive to it. You need to ask your politicians, if we're getting all this extra money, what are you doing with spending? And again, the city of Venice, I'm focused on that because I'm running for the office and I live here. They're doing their budgets now. It's probably too late to change their minds. They tend to just like with the LDRs, they wait for the public input, and just before they're going to vote, and their minds are already made up. Tricky. Okay, everybody, this has been Frankie Abbruzzino. It's Friday. Get out there, enjoy it. It looks beautiful out here right now. I'm expecting rain later, and I'll talk to everybody later.